Good day and welcome to Natural Health Dialogue with naturopathic Dr. Randy Lee. There are seasons in life, seasons through the year that we go through, and there's some things are obvious about things that are changing, but some things, as you go through there, knowledge of certain aspects of the seasons can help you more easily deal with some of the ups and downs of various seasons. That's what we're going to talk about today. That's a long way of saying we're going to talk about fall because it's fall.
We're going to talk about fall, autumn, if you want to call it autumn. This is probably I love spring. I don't deny that at all. But my wife and I both love fall. She was born in Northwest Arkansas, born and raised in Northwest Arkansas, high school in Northwest Arkansas, college in Northwest Arkansas. We met at the University of Arkansas, started dating there. Most of our time in the fall was spent at Devil's Den State Park or out walking Highway 23 that runs between Clarksville and Fayetteville. We love that drive every fall. Fall color is very, very meaningful for us. So even now, we live here in Oklahoma, have lived here in Oklahoma for over 25 years now, but we love to take an annual trip to somewhere where we can watch the beauty of nature, and I poetically said, fading from green to shades of red, orange, and yellow. We love that time of the year. This year, we're going to the Smoky Mountains in October just to see fall color. But we love that kind of stuff. So I just thought we would spend a few minutes talking about other fall things to consider. The color, of course, is part of it. But the first category that I want to talk about was fall is harvest time. We see so many harvest festivals. We see the pumpkin patches. We see the corn areas where people try to get through a corn maze or something like that. Parts of that deal with the autumn and the harvest of the autumn. It's time for picking apples and winter squash and green vegetables like cabbage and broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Onions are good all year round, and that's a good thing to dig up during the summer. Lots of those things that we harvest and we put into root cellars, or we put them in our basements or somewhere where we can keep them all winter long, and they don't require anything, just a cool, dry place, and they'll be good for most of the winter. Mm-hmm. It's also a great time for canning. My wife and I grew up canning. Our parents canned. My wife spends much of her time all summer long canning the fresh summer produce so that we have that summer produce all winter long.
And we can too.
Yeah.
It's uncanny.
That's right. Canning is more and more people canning this year than ever before because of the food shortages that we're seeing in some places. But things that don't overwinter well, like beans and peas and corn and cucumbers and peppers, you can make those into pickles and jams and jellies and still be able to can those. My favorite thing to do, my favorite food in the wintertime is to take the beans and the peas and a little corn and some okra and some broccoli and make it into a vegetable soup. The one that I like best doesn't even have any meat in it. It's just a wonderful vegetable soup with maybe some beef broth in it that we can during the summertime when those things are plentiful, and then we have them all winter long.
So naturopathically speaking, is there any downside to canning nutritionally?
You may lose a few nutrients if you use a lot of heat while you're doing that, but you can can many things with just doing a quick water bath and then put them into the jars and do the major part of the cooking when it's over with. So you may lose some, but you don't lose a lot. Most of your vitamins and minerals don't deteriorate until well above 140 to 200 degrees of temperature.
Okay.
And so you can still, and if you're concerned a lot about that, rather than putting them in jars and canning them, put them in the freezer.
Right.
Freezing the items doesn't really get rid of the nutrients at all. So, and we do a lot of that as well. Some things can better, some things freeze better, but harvest is the main theme. We use this time of the year as that harvest time. Second thing I wanted to talk about was the negative side of this time of the year, and that's seasonal allergies. We live on 5 acres, and let me tell you, I have got the most beautiful stand of ragweed this year that you've ever seen. There are blossoms everywhere. They're gorgeous yellow, but it seems to be the one thing that more people have an allergic reaction to than any other plant that I'm aware of. You still get some drop from the pines where you're getting some of that pine pollen that's coming down. And you see people with watery eyes and itchy noses and sneezing and sinus congestion and all those kinds of things that come from some of those allergies. So dust mites and pet dander, you're indoors more, your pets are indoors more. So there are a lot of things in the fall that give you those kind of allergy conditions. And some of them are very, very inconvenient. Some of them are very nagging. It depends on your allergic conditions and whether or not you have those or not. I'm fortunately not allergic to much of anything, but I tell people I'm allergic to nothing but hard work. And that's, but truthfully, God has given me a immune system and a body system where I don't have a lot of allergies. My wife, on the other hand, has tremendous sinus problems, particularly this time of the year. Some of those pollens just set her right on edge. So my main recommendation is where you can't avoid them, then you don't have to deal with all of the nagging symptoms in this day and age. The doctors have many things that they can give you for allergic conditions, but in the herbal arena, we also have products that will boost your immune system so that you don't feel those allergic effects. And we also have some that just take care of the allergic effects. If you have swollen sinuses, we have herbs that will reduce that swelling. If you have coughing and sneezing, we have herbs that will take away that tendency for coughing and sneezing. Some of them bear names like seasonal allergies, but basically there are many, many common symptoms that can be handled with herbal formulas so you don't have to suffer with them. So seasonal allergies. Another thing that I wanted to mention is the loss of sunshine. I lived in Germany for about 7 years, a long time ago. And over there, over here we say that the necessities of life are food, clothing, and shelter. Over in Germany, they list 4: food, clothing, shelter, and an annual vacation. And that annual vacation is because much of the year they don't have much sunshine, and people have all kinds of conditions that go along with the lack of sunshine. Things like moodiness and depression, and of course, without the sunshine, your body's not making vitamin D, and so that can boost, can reduce your immune system as well. So over there, they say you have to have a vacation. The guy who starts work on day one right out of high school is going to get 2 weeks of annual vacation, and they're going to insist that you go somewhere where the sun shines. So, and you may get to the point when you're a senior executive in a company where you're getting 2 or 3 months a year off, and you go to Australia or America or somewhere far, far away to get to the sunshine. But just the fact that we're losing the sun, and then we compound that problem with daylight savings time. Why is that a problem? We say that we have daylight savings time so we can get that extra hour of daylight back to get some sunshine back. But moving the clock around that way messes up the basic circadian rhythm that we have within our body. I looked up in Wikipedia, it states that circadian rhythm is a natural internal process that regulates the sleep-wake cycle and is repeated with the rotation of the Earth on a daily basis. We were told years ago that when you travel across time zones, when you get to your new location, you need to allow 1 day for every hour of time zone change that you went through. Well, daylight savings time is only 1 hour, but some people already have sleep problems, and they may have their cycles messed up for several days or even a week or two. And so be aware of the fact that daylight savings time, the loss of sunshine, the loss of things can cause you sleep problems, health problems, basically those things deal with depression and those kinds of things as well. So in fall, it's a beautiful time of the year. We love the color. We take some extra supplements to take care of those things that are the negatives. We enjoy the bounty of the season and look forward to the decrease of the busyness that we had in the summertime. Enjoy fall.
So enjoy the good and take things to help you with the bad.
You got it.
All right. We'll see you next time.